Michigan Property Management Accounts. Question 1. During a buyer consultation in Marquette, a buyer representative encounters a rule involving false advertising by a licensee. Which response follows Michigan law? While the file concerns a rural acreage, a seller net sheet, and a team social minus media post? Option A. A permitted team slogan in every case. Option B. A method of deed delivery. Option C. A title minus insurance requirement. Option D. A disciplinary violation. The correct answer is option D. A disciplinary violation. Real estate marketing must be truthful and comply with brokerage minus identification rules. The transaction context changes the facts, but it does not change the underlying licensing duty. Deed and title procedures are unrelated to advertising honesty. Question 2. A listing licensee is preparing for offer review in Pontiac. Which statement correctly addresses helping another person perform regulated brokerage work without a license, while the file concerns a single minus family residence, a property condition statement, and a record inspection request? Option A. The aiding unlicensed practice. Option B. A zoning enforcement function. Option C. Lawful delegation to any friend. Option D. A required referral method. The correct answer is option A. Aiding unlicensed practice. A licensee may not enable an unlicensed person to perform activities reserved for licensed practitioners. A written office procedure should produce the same result in comparable transactions. Calling the activity a referral does not change its substance. Question 3. Which Michigan requirement should control when a property manager deals with practicing while a license is suspended, revoked, or lapsed during an open house, while the file concerns a small apartment building, a property management ledger, and a branch minus office distance issue? Option A. Only advertising is prohibited. Option B. The person is treated as unlicensed. Option C. The employer may privately reactivate it. Option D. The license remains active for pending deals. The correct answer is option B. The person is treated as unlicensed. Authority to practice depends on a current license in good standing. In the described setting, the brokerage should document the step and apply it before moving forward. Only the department can restore lawful status through the applicable process. Stressed about your real estate? We can take real estate for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 4. At a brokerage audit, the brokerage discusses failure to comply with a final board or department order. Which conclusion is most accurate, while the file concerns an office condominium, a title commitment, and a financing contingency? Option A. A separate basis for discipline. Option B. An automatic license renewal. Option C. A fair minus housing exemption. Option D. A private contract defense. The correct answer is option A. A separate basis for discipline. Final regulatory orders are enforceable obligations of the licensee. Applied to this scenario, the licensee should follow the rule before creating further obligations for a party. Private transaction terms cannot override the order. Question 5. A compliance question in Grand Rapids concerns keeping a client's confidential negotiating information private. Which action or statement is appropriate, while the file concerns a condominium unit, a seller net sheet, and an unrepresented consumer? Option A. A fiduciary responsibility subject to legal disclosure exceptions. Option B. A duty owed only to competitors. Option C. A reason to hide known hazards. Option D. An optional courtesy after closing. The correct answer is option A. A fiduciary responsibility subject to legal disclosure exceptions. Agency loyalty includes protecting confidential information obtained through representation. For exam purposes, focus on the regulated relationship rather than an informal business custom. It cannot be used to conceal material facts that must be communicated. Question 6. How should a Michigan branch manager handle a situation involving presenting offers and material transaction information promptly, while the file concerns a retail suite, a property condition statement, and a confidential price limit? Option A. Optional when commission is small. Option B. A task reserved for the assessor. Option C. Part of competent and loyal client service. Option D. A prohibited communication. The correct answer is option C. Part of competent and loyal client service. Clients need timely information to make informed decisions about offers and risks. The transaction context changes the facts, but it does not change the underlying licensing duty. The size of compensation does not reduce professional responsibility. Question 7. Which choice best applies the state rule concerning an owner selling the owner's property in an occasional transaction to a property management meeting, while the file concerns a manufactured home site, a property management ledger, and a change of employing broker? Option A. An owner exemption may apply if the activity is not a principal vocation requiring broker licensure. Option B. Only a lender may sell the property. Option C. Every owner must obtain a salesperson license. Option D. The owner becomes a broker automatically. The correct answer is option A. An owner exemption may apply if the activity is not a principal vocation requiring broker licensure. Owners may generally handle their own property, but Michigan limits commercialized patterns of owner sales. A written office procedure should produce the same result in comparable transactions. Ownership alone is not an unlimited exemption from broker licensing. Question 8. A file from Muskegon raises an issue about an owner completing more than 5 property sales in 12 months without using a broker. Which answer identifies the governing requirement, while the file concerns a 2-unit rental, a title commitment, and an owner-licensee conflict? Option A. The owner remains exempt without limit. Option B. The transactions become tax-free. Option C. The activity is treated as a principal vocation requiring broker licensure. Option D. Only a building permit is required. The correct answer is option C. The activity is treated as a principal vocation requiring broker licensure. Michigan uses transaction frequency as one indicator of professional real estate sales activity. In the described setting, the brokerage should document the step and apply it before moving forward. Tax and construction approvals do not replace occupational licensing. Are you looking for real estate actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access real estate study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get real estate answer key today. Question 9. Before completing a transaction file review, which rule should the associate broker apply to an owner spending more than 15 hours per week over a 6-month period selling owned real estate, while the file concerns a historic residence, a seller net sheet, and an expired license issue? Option A. The rule applies only to renters. Option B. The owner is always exempt. Option C. The activity can be treated as a principal vocation. Option D. The time is counted only after closing. The correct answer is option C. The activity can be treated as a principal vocation. Substantial weekly work devoted to owner sales can move the activity beyond casual disposition. Applied to this scenario, the licensee should follow the rule before creating further obligations for a party. Closing dates and tenant status do not control this test. Question 10. A Michigan exam candidate reviews a scenario involving the additional pre-licensure education associated with an individual broker applicant. Which option reflects the current licensing framework, while the file concerns a student rental, a property condition statement, and a property management payment? Option A. 90 hours beyond salesperson education. Option B. 10 hours of advertising only. Option C. No additional education. Option D. 40 hours total including salesperson education. The correct answer is option A. 90 hours beyond salesperson education. Broker level preparation requires substantial coursework beyond the salesperson foundation. For exam purposes, focus on the regulated relationship rather than an informal business custom. The additional requirement is not satisfied by repeating only the initial salesperson total. Question 11. The broker's policy manual addresses a salesperson license application under the statutory employer structure. Which provision should it contain, while the file concerns a vacant commercial parcel, a property management ledger, and a delayed possession term? Option A. A home inspector signs as sponsor. Option B. The employing broker signs or approves the affiliation required for issuance. Option C. The county clerk becomes the employer. Option D. The applicant self-employs immediately. The correct answer is option B. The employing broker signs or approves the affiliation required for issuance. The salesperson credential is issued within an employing-broker relationship. The transaction context changes the facts, but it does not change the underlying licensing duty. Independent practice is not created merely by passing the examination. Question 12. A regulator asks about a salesperson license as to legal form during a brokerage review. Which response demonstrates compliance, while the file concerns an industrial site, a title commitment, and a cooperating brokerage? Option A. It is issued to a branch office. Option B. It belongs to the property being sold. Option C. It may be issued to any corporation. Option D. It is issued only to an individual. The correct answer is option D. It is issued only to an individual. Michigan treats the salesperson credential as an individual occupational license. A written office procedure should produce the same result in comparable transactions. A location or parcel cannot hold a salesperson credential. Question 13. Which statement would be safest for a property manager to follow when an associate broker's status becomes relevant, while the file concerns a new construction home, a seller net sheet, and a rejected counteroffer? Option A. An unlicensed assistant. Option B. A broker minus qualified individual working for another real estate broker. Option C. A county recording officer. Option D. A salesperson with no broker qualifications. The correct answer is option B. A broker minus qualified individual working for another real estate broker. An associate broker has met broker licensing standards but practices through an employing broker. In the described setting, the brokerage should document the step and apply it before moving forward. It is distinct from clerical assistance and ordinary salesperson status. Question 14. A dispute arises during a seller consultation over the body created to regulate Michigan real estate brokers and salespersons. Which principle resolves the issue, while the file concerns a mixed-use building, a property condition statement, and an assumed business name? Option A. The County Planning Commission. Option B. The Local Register of Deeds. Option C. The Federal Reserve Board. Option D. The Michigan Board of Real Estate Brokers and Salespersons. The correct answer is option D. The Michigan Board of Real Estate Brokers and Salespersons. Article 25 establishes a state board for the licensed brokerage professions. Applied to this scenario, the licensee should follow the rule before creating further obligations for a party. Local land offices and federal banking regulators perform different functions. Question 15. In Saginaw, a team member must decide how to proceed with the department's role in professional licensing. Which decision is consistent with Michigan requirements, while the file concerns a cooperative unit, a property management ledger, and a security minus deposit question? Option A. To approve all private purchase offers. Option B. To determine eligibility, issue credentials, and enforce the occupational code. Option C. Record deeds for each county. Option D. Set every property's market price. The correct answer is option B. Determine eligibility, issue credentials, and enforce the occupational code. The licensing department administers applications, examinations, renewals, and compliance. For exam purposes, focus on the regulated relationship rather than an informal business custom. County recording and market valuation are handled through other processes. Question 16. Which exam answer accurately classifies the rule involving a licensee's obligation when the department requests proof of required disclosures or consents, while the file concerns a farm parcel, a title commitment, and a dual-minus representation concern? Option A. Or rely only on memory. Option B. Delete the transaction file. Option C. Provide satisfactory written proof. Option D. Ask the buyer to create the record later. The correct answer is option C. Provide satisfactory written proof. Documented disclosures and consents allow the department to verify compliance. The transaction context changes the facts, but it does not change the underlying licensing duty. Oral recollection is weaker than the written proof contemplated by the statute. Question 17. A new policy is being drafted for the reason for maintaining complete transaction files. Which language belongs in the policy, while the file concerns a lakefront cottage, a seller net sheet, and a protected class inquiry? Option A. Avoid every client communication. Option B. Replace the purchase agreement. Option C. Support supervision, accounting, disclosures, and regulatory review. Option D. Eliminate the need for licensure. The correct answer is option C. Support supervision, accounting, disclosures, and regulatory review. A complete file shows how the brokerage handled money, agency, offers, and required notices. A written office procedure should produce the same result in comparable transactions. Filekeeping does not replace contracts or occupational authority. Question 18. During team training, the supervising broker tests knowledge of the agreement that defines brokerage services for a client. Which answer should the team select, while the file concerns a townhouse, a property condition statement, and a disputed repair credit. Option A, a verbal promise from a customer. Option B, an unsigned advertising draft. Option C, a tax assessment notice. Option D, a written service provision agreement. The correct answer is option D, a written service provision agreement. Michigan brokerage services are organized through an agreement identifying the relationship and services. In the described setting, the brokerage should document the step and apply it before moving forward. A public advertisement or assessment record is not a substitute for the brokerage contract. Stressed about your real estate? We can take real estate for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee A-Pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 19. A consumer asks the brokerage to explain the function of a limited service agreement. Which explanation reflects Michigan law, while the file concerns a urban infill property, a property management ledger, and an electronic signature? Option A, to transfer the broker's license to the client. Option B, to authorize unlicensed practice. Option C, permit specified services to be knowingly waived in writing. Option D, remove every duty of honesty. The correct answer is option C, permit specified services to be knowingly waived in writing. A limited service arrangement narrows selected brokerage services through a documented waiver. Applied to this scenario, the licensee should follow the rule before creating further obligations for a party. Core legal obligations and licensing requirements are not erased by the reduced scope. Question 20. Which compliance step is required when the transaction facts involve the purpose of a property management employment contract, while the file concerns a subdivision lot, a title commitment, and a referral arrangement? Option A, to create a mortgage lien. Option B, define the broker's management duties and handling of property funds. Option C, replace all lease agreements. Option D, to transfer title to the property manager. The correct answer is option B, define the broker's management duties and handling of property funds. Property management for another is based on a written employment arrangement. For exam purposes, focus on the regulated relationship rather than an informal business custom. It does not convey ownership or eliminate contracts with tenants. Question 21. A buyer representative notices a potential problem involving regular contact between a broker and salesperson. Which response should occur first, while the file concerns a rural acreage, a seller net sheet, and a team social media post? Option A, it is optional after the first closing. Option B, it is replaced by customer reviews. Option C, it may be prohibited by contract. Option D, it is part of the broker's required supervision. The correct answer is option D, it is part of the broker's required supervision. Supervision includes direct communication through in-person or electronic means on a regular basis. The transaction context changes the facts, but it does not change the underlying licensing duty. Private contracts cannot remove the broker's statutory oversight role. Question 22. The state portion of the exam presents facts about reviewing a salesperson's practice and transaction reports. Which result is supported, while the file concerns a single-family residence, a property condition statement, and a record inspection request? Option A, it is performed only by the tax assessor. Option B, it occurs only after a complaint. Option C, it is unnecessary for independent contractors. Option D, it is a required supervisory activity. The correct answer is option D, it is a required supervisory activity. Broker oversight extends to how the salesperson performs regulated work and reports activity. A written office procedure should produce the same result in comparable transactions. Independent contractor classification does not cancel licensing supervision. Question 23. Which brokerage practice properly addresses providing written operating policies and procedures in the Muskegon transaction, while the file concerns a small apartment building, a property management ledger, and a branch office distance issue? Option A, it is optional if the firm has a logo. Option B, it is part of adequate salesperson supervision. Option C, it is prohibited as legal advice. Option D, it may be delegated to a buyer. The correct answer is option B, it is part of adequate salesperson supervision. Written policies give affiliated licensees consistent directions for regulated activity. In the described setting, the brokerage should document the step and apply it before moving forward. Branding or client instructions cannot replace internal operating guidance. Question 24. A licensee is comparing four procedures related to a contract clause that removes the broker's authority to supervise a salesperson. Which procedure is lawful, while the file concerns a office condominium, a title commitment, and a financing contingency? Option A. The clause is not permitted. Option B. The clause is required for contractors. Option C. The clause transfers supervision to the seller. Option D. The clause is valid if notarized. The correct answer is option A. The clause is not permitted. Employment wording cannot strip the broker of statutory supervisory power. Applied to this scenario, the licensee should follow the rule before creating further obligations for a party. Notarization does not validate a provision that conflicts with licensing law. Question 25. At the end of a closing preparation, the parties question mixing client transaction money with brokerage operating funds. Which statement provides the best guidance, while the file concerns a condominium unit, a seller net sheet, and an unrepresented consumer? Option A. A standard marketing practice. Option B. Required interest allocation. Option C. A permissible commission advance. Option D. Commingling that can lead to discipline. The correct answer is option D. Commingling that can lead to discipline. Money belonging to others must be accounted for separately from the firm's own operating cash. For exam purposes, focus on the regulated relationship rather than an informal business custom. A business convenience does not justify blending the accounts.